Hello, everybody. It's Friday. Of course it is, Peter.
We're back. It's weird because, I wasn't looking forward to the international break, and then the first England match happened, and I didn't want to see the second one, but then the second one was good, and now I'm confused. I kind of want more international break, but then there's, Newcastle Wolves at the weekend.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what will help you with this international conundrum is a simple apology to Thomas Tuchel and me.
Yeah.
Now's your chance.
Yeah, I'd like to see that as well.
I'd like to apologise to everybody for everything I've done.
We don't have time for that, but the gesture
That's
is...
going to have to go behind a paywall.
I think the gesture is nice, and it is what Fridays are all about. Bringing people together, Luke Moore. That's what we're here to do.
We are. You got the keys ready?
Very ready.
Good.
And the Manchester Derby brings people together.
Yeah, that is definitely one way of pre-promoting it, trailing it. Is it the friendly derby?
Oh, the friendly derby is the Liverpool derby. Come on.
Well, there might be another friendly derby on Sunday.
Ooh.
And we'll come to that later, I expect.
Oh, will we now?
Yeah.
Well, look, Manchester City host Manchester United, of course, on Sunday at 4:30. Manchester United got 4 points in Manchester derbies last season.
They sure did, thanks to partly to a Mateus Nunes complete meltdown. Do you remember that thing he did? Where he did a really poor back pass,
yes,
then tried to make up for it, tried way too hard, and then took someone out for a penalty.
Yes,
it was pleasing.
It is.
Amad Diallo was involved.
He was very much involved. He scored the last-minute goal as well. Gary Neville was essentially just wholly unprofessional in the commentary, from what I remember. The commentator was trying to commentate what was actually happening, which is the role.
Yes.
And in the background, you just heard Neville going, "Oh, get the ball! You believe it, Neville? You're at work."
I know. Was it a comedy of errors, would you say?
It was.
Yeah.
I think that it was definitely in a period of time where Man City were never more than... They were always in the same postcode as a comedy of errors, yeah.
It was a golden period of Premier League football.
It's part of the reason why last season was a really funny season.
Yeah, it was a bit,
It was, yeah.
I mean, this one, Man City, of course, will be favourites, as they have been for so many years now. And I can't really make an argument for Manchester United, Peter.
No, well,
but that's how it goes, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but last season, I mean, again, I know that
you're
Man City...
lining up for this, Marcus, thinking this is going to be an absolute bloodbath, and that's why you're watching it for partly reason because you're a neutral. Yeah. But it'll end up being like 1-0.
I mean, at the end of the day, Man United have been better than their results. They've created more than anyone else in the Premier League this season. They're just not putting them away. Sesko's at some point is going to come good.
It was a spirited comeback against Grimsby, although they lost on penalties. I grant you that.
But Pete, to back you up on that, sorry to cut in, but to back you up on that, if you look at shots per game in the Premier League so far this season, Man United are top with 5 more shots per game on average than the next best team.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you put Bruno Fernandes, Brian Mbeumo and Mateus Cunha in the same team. It's just incredible.
Long shot party.
Yeah, but you would just think that they haven't scored. But that was literally the reason why I thought Mateus Cunha in particular was a good signing. Because you thought, well, if you can't create much and they don't get that near the goal, then at least he's good for a 25 yard.
Do you not think that, practicing against Onana, he's quite an unpredictable, unconventional goalkeeper, so maybe they're just not sure where to hit the ball.
That would be a long-range shot now, wouldn't it? Shooting against him in Turkey from Manchester.
Exactly, yeah.
It's an absolute bomb.
I think so, yeah.
Well, the goalkeeping issue is really interesting, but it's probably the most interesting thing about this game.
Well,
I would say.
Yeah, well, they've obviously signed the young Belgian Sene Lamens, and so he'll be in contention with Altay Bayondir and Tom Heaton.
Tommy in there.
He's a registered goalkeeper at Manchester United.
He is a registered goalkeeper. A lot of the people, a lot of his colleagues are very keen to see him in bins, but I don't think it's going to happen.
A lot of your colleagues are as well.
My colleagues are.
Would it be
one of my colleagues?
No, I am as well. But would it be fair to say you could rate it as quite a damning indictment if Tom Heaton starts the Manchester derby?
He's not going to start
the same week that they've just signed a brand new goalkeeper.
All we want is him on the bench. That's realistic.
Yeah,
after we were let down in the previous fixture where there was serious chat.
There was. We Marcus, all we did was we had the audacity of hope, didn't we? And it was cruelly snatched from us, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Wasn't it snatched from us, wasn't it?
It was.
It's like when that non-league keeper was going to sign for that. I can't remember which.
Don't look at me with that eyes like I know what you're talking about. Don't put this on me.
There was a big fat 50-year-old non-league goalkeeper.
The roly-poly goalie.
The roly-poly goalie.
Sutton United. He got sacked, didn't he? For
I wasn't thinking of that goalkeeper, but
Wayne
similar
Shaw,
vibe.
his name is. I just looked him up.
Similar vibe.
He's not going to play.
No, I'm talking about quite recent. I think it's Forest Green Rovers.
He's
I think we're going to sign
Dorking Wanderers.
Dorking Wanderers were going to sign a goalkeeper that
they did. He was 54
temporarily. Yeah. But they didn't use him in the end. So we had that lovely ramble story that didn't happen.
Well, you guys talked about an 82-year-old Italian keeper the other day.
It's a good point, actually.
And Pete,
get him in.
uttered the very sensible advice to the players playing against him: make sure you get your rebounds.
Yeah.
Because he ain't getting up again.
But that said, he will be an old school goalkeeper who will keep hold of the ball and not parry it.
Maybe, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, but Italian goalie though.
The direction this conversation has taken is simply disrespectful to Tom Heaton, who's a good pro, still in his 30s. Yeah. That's the fact.
Still in his 30s.
And
we all?
hopefully will still be in contention for the game come Sunday. But listen, Amorim's biggest decision, maybe I phrased it wrong. Maybe I said, it's the most interesting part of this game. Perhaps that's going too far. But unquestionably, the biggest decision that Ruben Amorim has to make is who he plays in goal.
It is.
Because it makes the optics are very, very big.
Indeed. And Andre and Onana are obviously going out to Turkey, Luke Moore.
Sorry, I should have been more respectful of the Turkish people. I apologise.
Right.
Turkey. And to Andy Brassel.
Well, that's the big one, yeah. That's, again, it's the Manchester United way, isn't it, at the moment? But Amorim did say, or he certainly believes, apparently, that the departure of Onana clears Manchester United of negative influences that he sees is key to his rebuild.
He would say that, wouldn't he?
Well, indeed. So, but I do stress that a source has claimed that it felt like Andre was there just to show up, and he wasn't there or showing any team mentality. And apparently, Amorim was unhappy that Onana had picked up a hamstring injury at the start of the season after being filmed playing on a mud patch in his homeland in June, and this, that, and the other. So, whatever the reasons are, Amorim clearly didn't want Onana there. He's gone. And they have signed a new goalkeeper.
But are we getting to the point now where the old saying that if everyone you meet's a dickhead, you're probably a dickhead?
Well, this is it. Amorim to me is running out of road a bit here.
Yeah.
And with the caveat that if he was playing in concrete in London, it would be a slightly different story. There's a slightly distasteful kind of aspect to that, I think. But I think, he was an unpredictable goalkeeper. I don't think the goalkeeping issue is the biggest deal in Amorim's problem. But you're right. He can't keep using this excuse that, it's bad vibes, my footballers aren't playing,
He's got a responsibility for the vibes.
He's got a lead. Get yourself a boombox, get some R&B on.
You've got to curate the vibes.
He is ultimately the ultimate vibesman. He has to be.
Do you need a DJ?
Yeah,
do you need an ex-radio DJ who's to play some tunes?
Some really, Marcus, to be fair to Pete, say what you like about him.
A lot of CDs.
Serious experience on the no repeat guarantee.
Exactly,
yes. Much like Ebenezer Good, he created the vibe. So we'll certainly give you that.
It's not the only comparison with Ebenezer Good I can think of.
Come on.
Why do you always say that I'm a drug addict?
We ain't got a sponsor this at the moment. So I want.
Talking about drugs. I'm not taking drugs in ages.
You literally
over the counter every day.
I'm about to say, the first thing you said when you walked in this morning is, anyone got a spare inhaler?
Can we get a sponsor here? I don't care who it is.
The good people at Budenoside listening.
We need a bloody sponsor as soon as possible. I don't give a damn if it's a cigarette company now.
Anusol.
Yeah, get the arse cream.
Get the arse cream.
Anything.
That's what Amorim said when Onana left. Right, get the arse cream. But it's you have a responsibility as the manager to be the ultimate vibesman. You create the environment. Like, for example, Mikel Arteta, the vibe he's created is admittedly quite mental, but he's created it.
We're going to talk about Everton soon.
Okay, exactly.
I mean, oof.
Grealish is bringing the vibes there.
But who brought him in to help out with the vibes?
The Grim Reaper himself.
Well,
the ferryman.
Yeah.
The ferryman who's now turned his ferry into like a pleasure cruise.
The Grin Reaper.
The Grin Reaper. There we go. Yeah. I had something to say about Onana. What was it? He was also getting dog's abuse for that ridiculous error he made for Cameroon, to the point where he got caught on camera.
Was he pushing?
He basically elbowed a Cameroon fan in the face,
right,
to get rid of him because he was getting hounded. It was very distasteful. Tough. But you say that Onana's an unpredictable goalkeeper. I actually found him super predictable, by which I mean, if there's a shot, he ain't saving it.
Right.
If there's a cross, he ain't getting it.
Right.
You know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Good point.
What about Manchester City's goalkeeping situation? Because Big Donnarumma's there.
It's easy to forget it.
I mean,
that's almost
your 25-yarders aren't going to work against them.
No, that's almost worth kind of like a goal, isn't it? Right? Well, we're not going to score a goal this afternoon.
It's a dig at United, isn't it? United have had their own goalkeeping errors, issues. They need to find a keeper. They've farmed one out who's apparently a problem. They brought one in a while back who's turned out to be shit. They've got one who's about 40, and they've finally brought one in that no one's ever heard of. And City, within about a week, just get Donnarumma. It's an absolute dig. And the first game is the battle of the keepers.
Yeah, right. But like it's been said many times, and everybody's thought it. Donnarumma is not the type of keeper that Guardiola likes.
But you guys have had discussions on this on shows that I haven't been on, not in detail, but you've kind of referenced it and alluded to it. There's been quite a lot of chat in among the discourse more generally about the way football's going tactically. And I think the lens that you guys looked at it through last week was Thomas Tuchel talking about long throws. But that just seems to be the way that football is going at the moment. Man City are occasionally going more direct.
Yeah, but they did with Ederson. Ederson could, he could hit a 50-pence piece from 60 yards.
I don't think Donnarumma can do that. But maybe
clearly he can't be awful because he plays for Paris Saint-Germain. They won a Champions League.
He's a brilliant keeper.
No, as in at that stuff. But yeah. So maybe I think this has been overblown a bit because Luis Enrique, you know what it's like. You win the Champions League, as we all know what that's like. No, but we've seen this before. A manager wins a major trophy or produces a side which is just playing wonderful football, but they do have to reinvent it. Even Guardiola in his glory years at Barcelona, even his glory years at Manchester City, but glory years at Barcelona, the side who won the Champions League the first time was very different. Not very different, but it was certainly noticeably different to the side that won it, was it 2 years later or whenever it was? Not just the personnel, but even the style of play, actually. So I get the fact that Luis Enrique thinks Donnarumma, he obviously played his part and is an absolute Adonis in goal. It was shot stopping. I mean, there's nothing.
He's basically Thanos.
I'm not sure we've seen a finer goalkeeper. Maybe Alisson, or anyway, he's one of the finest. We'll leave it at that. But with the stuff, if Luis Enrique does want to just mix it up a little bit, and he's got to be a little bit quicker with his feet and maybe a little bit more precise, then okay. I don't think it's a case of bloody hell, I don't know how we won it with this idiot in goal. Right, off you go, mate. I don't think that's the chat.
I think my point was that being good with your feet is twofold. It's delivering the ball, but also not being absolutely destroyed by a bit of pressure. Now Donnarumma's won massive tournaments of Champions League and stuff like that. So he's clearly got the temperament to sort of be able to deal with anything.
Yeah. Also,
he's not going to be passing it out, 6 yards to a striker.
No.
He says, unless he does that.
I don't think Haaland's going to drop that deep.
It's just also the nerds get involved, don't they?
Right.
They start talking about pass completion percentage.
But they're welcome in football.
Everyone's welcome.
They're not welcome in the studio.
And some are just more welcome than others.
Well, look, it's.
I just think that Donnarumma's a brilliant goalkeeper, and
sometimes that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can keep the ball out of your net quite effectively, then I think you're going to do okay. But I think the rest of the Premier League, when Man City get Donnarumma, it is a bit like, bollocks. Psychologically, that's a blow.
Yeah.
Certainly to Manchester United on Sunday. But look, if they're taking that many shots, they're going to have to really be a little bit more
not playing them.
Well, the thing is, Amarim's got so much pressure on himself. Whoever he picks in goal, I think you're right, Peter. It's going to be Lamens, because otherwise, how are you going to set him up to be confident to play?
It's a huge game to come into.
Yeah. Exactly. And if he does pick Bayindir, Bayindir is objectively a very poor goalkeeper.
Certainly from crosses.
I guess, yes, exactly. That's putting a bit more of a finer point on it. But also, I suppose you could add that, who is good at United? Not many people. So maybe it's not his fault. And he's obviously not going to pick Heaton. So there's going to be a huge amount of pressure.
I mean, if you look at Lamens' record, Antwerp is, of course, where he's been
I've
playing.
literally never seen him play.
Yeah, I mean, he's really only had one full season, which was in the Belgian Pro League. He's played in one European match. He's never played for the Belgian first team. He's 23, but we've seen young lads go in before and actually do okay. But on paper, you're thinking that's a big game for him to go into.
Poor old Emi Martinez is still waiting by the phone.
I think Emi Martinez has
speaking of vibes,
understood that he's not going to Manchester United.
Yeah.
Just yet.
I think so. He's going to spend his time destroying Aston Villa.
Maybe.
Until January.
What about Erling Haaland returning from the international break with 6 more international goals and 3 new stitches?
Yeah.
Did you see that? He required stitches after getting banged out, apparently, by a bus door.
I don't think it was the door. I think it might have been the luggage compartment thing that comes up. Hit him in the mouth.
That feels more vicious, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it was described as he was banged out by it.
Yeah.
As if like he's entered some sort of duel and he's lost out to it.
He's also a delightfully simple character, isn't he? If you look at his Instagram, it says something like, this happened, I think it looks quite cool, lol.
I don't think it's a simple character. I think he's one of the better footballing social media users, I would say.
I agree with that, yeah.
I think he just doesn't give a damn, does he?
No, and you cannot give a damn when you've scored 5 in midweek. I mean, I was feeling a little bit down this morning, and then I watched him doing an advert, or basically filming behind the scenes footage of a Norwegian fish company advert, and it just made me happy.
Got your capitalist juices going again,
got my capitalist juices,
That's the most Norwegian. I think it's one of the most Norwegian stories I've ever heard.
Godfisk.
Is that what they're called?
Godfisk.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I like it.
Will you turn me around?
He was apparently very apologetic after scoring all his goals against Moldova, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. The Moldova keeper said that Haaland kept apologising to him after every goal, which again sounds like a piss take.
Yeah, he said it's not my fault, but we have to keep scoring for the goal difference.
Yep.
He needs to apologise for that bus, because that's not passing the MOT after that, is it?
No, probably not. You should have seen the state of the bus.
Yeah.
But
I also
Haaland
think
should pass his MOT for the game, though.
He should.
Yes,
I imagine he will.
Yeah.
And I also think that there was an element. I think I might have talked about this on Wednesday. There was an element of this where Moldova were not helping themselves in any way.
No.
Just if it gets to the point where you're 9-1 down,
Yep.
just launch it. Just stop. Just get rid of the ball.
I love that, though.
Get the ball away from your own goal. Just as a starting point.
Yeah.
Just to start off. Stop trying to play it out from the back when Haaland is basically eating you up.
Lolled over.
Yeah.
Now, gentlemen, I think it's fair to say that Manchester United may not be recruiting any Manchester City fans anytime soon.
I bet there are some in there.
Probably. Some of them snuck in.
Under the radar.
Because, some of you have seen this, a judge has ruled that football fans can be denied a job if they support a rival team to colleagues. Have you seen this?
Well, yeah, wasn't there I mean, it seems like a weird thing for a court to get involved with.
you didn't know this, did you, when David Cartledge, Sunderland fan, started
I know, I should have.
And Sunderland have started well, by the way, as predicted by David Cartledge.
That's right, yeah.
He got dogs abuse on the
Almost if he knows what he's talking about.
So this is all came from, it was a marketing agency who decided not to give a candidate a job because they didn't vibe with them.
Yeah. And that's exactly the sort of shit you get from
so
that kind of
was
agency.
it Ruben Amorim?
It wasn't Ruben Amorim, but I think the person who didn't get that job has probably dodged a bullet, as you say, Peter.
It feels a bit Harry Kane's brother kind of office. Do you know what I mean?
Little bit, yeah.
He works on his own, though, doesn't he?
He does look kind of lonely.
I think he's just on his own.
Him and his bike.
Him
and his hog.
I've never seen Charlie Kane in a photo with anyone else other than Harry Kane. Does he know anyone else? Does he know anyone?
He's either alone or with his brother.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on a more serious note, that what happened was that this woman lost out on this job because she said she would struggle to socialise at the pub as she suffered from depression and drinking was not in her culture.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the vibe we want, so you're not having the job.
Right.
And this has been extrapolated out by people and a judge in particular. And it was said in the article, an example of this could be a small company where everybody who works in the office is an ardent supporter of Arsenal Football Club. And they decided to pick an Arsenal fan at the interview over a similarly qualified Tottenham Hotspur season ticket holder because they don't want to damage the harmony of the office.
I don't think the judge should be freestyling.
Right.
I also found it interesting in the tribunal, the marketing woman that interviewed the candidate for the whole case to happen said that she said to an actual employment tribunal, I just vibed more with the other applicant.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's got a foundation in employment law.
Again,
apparently it has.
I'm quite sure that when all's said and done, it is much better off maybe not to work with that company.
Maybe, yeah.
Although when she did say, right, well, you're going to have to down that, and the quickest one gets the job, I thought that was a bit much.
And by the way, has anyone got a spare inhaler?
Yeah. That didn't happen.
But if
that we know of.
But in that scenario listed by that judge, arguably, if we are going to indulge this quite ridiculous fantasy for a moment, it would kind of work both ways, wouldn't it? Because it might be reasonable to suggest that if you are going to take a decision based on that, you probably should inform the candidate that every single person in the office is an Arsenal fan, and you're going to get dogs abuse every day.
Yeah.
You might not want it yourself either.
Well, indeed. But I thought you were going to say it works the other way. So they'd say to the judge, all right, who do you support? Oh, I see. And then whoever they say, you pick the opposite side, and then you get another judge.
I request a different judge.
Well, exactly,
One might suggest that London football rivalry isn't that important.
What?
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal Spurs is not a big derby.
I don't think honestly, I just look at it and I say,
I can go to a break anytime. I can
go
to a break anytime you want.
Marcus,
I'm just giving him the option.
Let him cook.
I just think it's YouTube commenter. I just think it's an underwhelming rivalry.
Well, all London clubs?
Just mainly Arsenal Spurs, to be honest. I don't know why people get so upset about it.
Yeah.
You live in each other's pockets.
Marcus.
Isn't that what a derby's about? Yeah.
It's the Seven Sisters Road. They connect both clubs pretty much.
Yeah. You should go to Dundee, mate.
Yeah.
It's absolutely no
I can't
rivalry.
wait to hear what he's got to say about the South Coast Derby later.
It is true, isn't it? The closer the teams are, the friendlier they are, because they live in harmony. Perfect harmony.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
In many ways, that's the story of civilization, I would say. Isn't it? Yeah.
Coming up after this, Jack Grealish celebrated his 30th birthday in style.
What about Aston Villa, your old side? Would be hoping for big things this evening. Yeah, I think like we said earlier, they've won. Oh, and there's a goal.
Welcome back to the Football Ramble, everybody. Yeah, Everton versus Aston Villa, Saturday at 3 p.m. The Jack Grealish derby, a Jack Grealish derby.
Jack.
Yeah.
But yes, he spent the international break celebrating his 30th birthday. Prior to the big celebration, which we'll get to in a minute, apparently, according to one article, the winger had earlier treated himself to a 7-hour pub crawl in Sweden during the break before flying back to set up his birthday celebration.
I mean, 7-hour pub crawl, it makes it sound bad.
Sweden.
Yeah, but
he's flying out for that.
I mean, if you go out at 5 p.m. and you're out till midnight, that's a standard.
That's a standard evening, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not that bad. The pub crawl is probably anything more than 2 pubs. So it could be 3 pubs across 7. That's not that bad.
He was probably waiting for darkness to fall, but it never did.
Maybe. Well, this time of year it would be starting to get dark. Wouldn't it?
But he also in Sweden where he was.
I also like the fact that he's not let a disappointment in terms of the international squad get in his way.
Make the most of it.
Well, because the thing is...
Do you think that's why he didn't get picked?
Well, I was going to say
Thomas
that.
Tuchel saw his
No, because Marcus, the thing is, you're about to come on to say that he had his own festival for his birthday.
Yeah.
That takes planning. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, it does.
Right? Yeah. He needs to have been pretty sure that he wasn't going to be in international football.
Do you know what? I didn't think about that until about 3 seconds ago. Well, yeah,
what are they going to do? Just put his England game on the big screen?
Oh, that'd have been nice. Well, he was celebrating his 30th birthday with a festival-themed party called Greelfields.
It's great.
Is that
good.
name great or is it awful?
No, it's both, isn't it? It's quite clearly both.
It's a torturous wordplay.
I would say that
great event.
We are very, very lucky to have a player these days.
Yes.
If that personality type still playing at the very top of the game.
Yep.
Yes.
Because you don't get an awful lot of that now. I know it's an old person thing to say, but you just don't, because the way the football players are created now, almost like made in a lab. And Grealish has got a huge personality, and it's a massive thing. I love the photos of it. I love that he was there with Brucey.
Stevie Bruce was there.
Yeah.
That was great, wasn't it? Wayne Rooney was there.
Of course, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Wazza was there. That's lovely. So it was a festival-style tent, which looked great, by the way. It had been transformed into a nightclub complete with giant LED screens flashing his name.
Yeah. Nice.
The photo I saw was the 3 big screens with just grill fields across them.
Yep.
And the DJ booth in the middle.
Disco balls and obviously a DJ booth. Wonder if old DJ Grealish had to go himself.
Yeah.
So yes, Everton and Aston Villa, quite contrasting seasons so far. Everton, of course, 5th in the table, 2 wins from 3 games, have impressed. Villa, 19th with only 1 point so far. Peter Donaldson, are you concerned for the Brummies?
I am a little bit. I mean, I think they've signed relatively well. Harvey Elliott's huge signing for them, and he presumably will play because he's been given number 9, hasn't he?
Yes.
And I just hope they manage to sort of. I could see Emery walking away this season if they are a middle of the table kind of concern. I really could to see him. I don't think he's been supported quite as much as he possibly could have.
Is he the man who can get a tune out of Jadon Sancho? Because he's obviously helped Marcus Rashford kind of rejuvenate his career a bit, although I think we all suspected Rashford had that in the tank. With Sancho, obviously a player there who's gone from team to team, and unless he's at Borussia Dortmund, doesn't seem to quite click, although he had moments at Chelsea.
It's a sort of team. It's a little bit like being under Eddie Howe, isn't it? It's kind of like there are managers who can improve you. We were talking about the Manchester United keeper situation, and a goalkeeper who's played for Antwerp for a little while and come over. You kind of need to hit the ground running because of the exposure you get as a Manchester United player. In Aston Villa's case, it's completely different. I think you can develop a little bit, and I mean, obviously, it's a bit of a last chance for Jadon Sancho in the state that he's in.
Do you reckon his last chance already? Yeah,
I think so. The way that
he's had a lot of chances, but he's only 25.
Well, it may be in terms of playing for teams in England specifically at that level. Although I think, unless he has a shocker, I think he'll always have suitors. But it could be slightly further down.
Because what you find is that managers always feel like they're the ones that can get a tune out.
But we know what he can produce on the pitch.
Yeah.
So it's all about just trying to access that.
What's funny is that I feel like with the connections involved, I feel like David Moyes probably would have known that Sancho was available, and he's obviously occupying the same position as Grealish, who they eventually sign instead. And Moyes, I wouldn't be surprised if Moyes passed on him. I think someone like Everton, he'd probably be brilliant. You could see him doing really well there.
Yeah.
Now he's not there; he's at Villa. I think,
but maybe Sancho passed on them.
Maybe. But I would just say I don't think you can necessarily. I agree with a lot of what Pete said there, actually. But I don't think you can necessarily say that Emery hasn't been supported. He's been given a lot of players. And I know that they haven't spent an awful lot of money this transfer window. They've relied on loans and they've had one big signing in Evan Guesson from Nice.
Well, the financial situation at Villa is maybe
exactly.
not, and they're not getting the Champions League as well was kind of
the problem with Villa this season is I think they're getting to a situation where pretty much every club other than Valencia, which was some years ago now, Emery, he gets to that point where he just starts to, I don't know, shuffle his feet or want to move on. He never stays at a job for that long, and he's been at Villa for quite a long time.
Well, what can he realistically do with Villa? I mean, it is get into the Champions League.
But I don't think that's necessarily the point, because Emery's best work as a manager has been at that level of club, slightly below the elite, and he's been able to do things like pick up Europa League trophies and do really well and deliver perhaps slightly unfancy clubs to higher level. And he's done that with Villa because he got them into the Champions League, right? I'm just feeling like it might be coming towards the end of the line now.
Well, inertia sets in at some point.
And the way they started this season has been very poor. And I think the Emi Martinez saga kind of affected them badly. And if you look at Everton, it's basically the inverse of that. It's the opposite of it. What has Moyes done at a club like Everton, who are a similar sized club to Villa, is he's set them with a really good basis from which to play from. Everyone knows their jobs. And he's peppered that with some exciting attacking players. And you look at like the front four that they'll play against Villa will probably be Grealish and Dye, who was brilliant last season and is a good player. Keenan Dewsbury-Hall's found his feet. And Beto, who I think is a much better striker than people give him credit for. That's a good front four on top of a really solid base. I think Everton are going to do pretty well this season. Well, and I can't see Villa, based on what we've seen so far, go to the Hill Dickinson Stadium, as it's known now, and get something. And the final thing I'll say is the most damning indictment of Aston Villa's start to the season has been how good Ezri Konsa and Morgan Rogers look for England. Yeah. And they've both looked really poor for Villa so far this season.
Yeah. Well, Everton, they have struggled to score goals. It's quite clear in recent seasons. The last 4 seasons, they've been 19th, 19th, 17th and 13th lowest scorers in those seasons. Under Dyche, towards the end of his tenure, I mean, they just simply weren't scoring goals.
I think that's a story of the managers they've had, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And Dyche doesn't really try and score goals.
No, and that's why I think when Moyes came in, as a lot of people have made the point, it was like, is it just slightly better than the same that we've had? Well, so far, I mean, even when he took over at the end of last season, but really now with that summer and some of the signings he's got, it bodes very well. Look, we're only a few games in, so again, early days and all that sort of stuff.
They should be undefeated, by the way, as well, because the only reason they lost to Leeds on the opening day was because of absolute preposterous refereeing decisions.
Yeah, I mean, well, the funny thing was against Leeds, it did look pretty poor, actually. Leeds were the better side, and Moyes admitted that. And
Leeds looked totally toothless, though.
They did, but a couple of games later, and suddenly everyone's purring about Everton and Moyes and his great.
I just think the eye test, they look really good. They just look good. They look balanced to me. And the Villa look like they haven't found their feet yet. I'll be interested to see what happens with them. It's a very goalkeeper heavy show today, but I'll be interested to see how Martinez settles back in. Big character, obviously won the World Cup, been voted the best goalkeeper in the world and all that kind of stuff. Wanted to go Man United, didn't make any secret of that. Didn't get the move. Is it unrealistic to think that he's going to settle back into that squad without any problems?
I think at that age, you get a bit more rope. I think when you're at that age and you've obviously done all that in your career, you sort of feel like you are a master of your own destiny.
He's out there fucking trophies, Pete.
He's out there fucking trophies. How many trophies have you fucked?
Marcus has fucked one.
You have.
Sitting behind you, Pete.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you regret it, Marcus?
No.
Good on you. Double down, mate. Double down. Yeah. I think this is one of the most fascinating games of the weekend. I'm sad it's on at 3:00 on a Saturday, to be honest. Because there's no physical way I'll ever be able to watch it.
You'll ever be able to watch it.
You could go to the game.
I could do, couldn't I? Could play paddle.
You can listen to it on the radio.
Maybe I will.
You know, you can put it on teletext. Right. Now, let's go to West London. Chelsea travel to Brentford at 8 p.m. on Saturday. You'll be able to watch that one.
Yeah, we'll do, yeah.
That's a nice Saturday treat, isn't it?
Yeah.
The difference is I simply don't want to.
Right.
I'm at the aforementioned Alpaca Festival that my neighbour put on.
On Saturday night?
Yeah.
Grill Fest?
I've
Grill Fields?
Real
grill
fields.
fields. Yeah, I've got little grill fields going on this weekend.
So you're going to an Alpaca Festival
I'm going
on
to an
Saturday night?
Alpaca-based festival. I have been tasked with setting up the PA for several bands who will be very upset with my professionalism.
But there's going to be better. Who's playing?
Some very, very localised concerns. That's it.
Hard-fi, they on?
Pete, you could probably play a bit of guitar for him, couldn't you?
I tested out the PA yesterday
How is it?
through a very small Kirk Hammett practice amp.
Nice.
Wonderful.
With Pete, it would be Naughty's indie bands like Hard-Fi, The Enemy,
Yeah.
and those kind of things.
He also likes the old ska punk stuff, doesn't he, Pete?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you into that?
He likes the old,
Sponge would play.
Marcus, can I also say that we should both agree that Pete being put in charge for a PA system on a Saturday night, testing it on a Thursday, remarkable growth from the lad.
Yeah.
Normally that is a last minute Larry.
If anyone,
everyone's electrocuted.
if anyone from Absolute Radio is listening, they'll be thinking to themselves, "Where was this? Pete?
Where was
Yeah.
this?
Where was this? kind
Turn
of
up for a
prep
show
and-
10 minutes in.
Prep and plan.
Where was this when your very last thing you did for us was burping down the mic and swearing? Was it swearing?
You didn't swear.
No,
on
I
it.
didn't swear. Come on.
Final question from me. It's a burning question that all our listeners want to know the answer to. I make no apologies for asking it, Peter. How many alpacas do you need for it to be counted as a festival of alpacas? To me, it feels like it should be quite a lot.
I think there's about 7 next to a
Across what kind of area?
It's a pretty large pile, I would say. Yeah.
Can we get tickets for it?
No, it's all sold out.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
200 people.
Well, there's always
Gutted.
next year, everybody.
Exactly.
I'd imagine Brentford Chelsea's probably sold out as well, but I don't know that.
No.
Now, of course, you know, we have that a West London derby going on, but it was announced yesterday that Chelsea had been charged by the FA with 74 alleged rule breaches related to payments to agents between 2009 and 2022. Yes, the alleged rule breaches concern agents, intermediaries, and third-party investments in players.
Jules Breaches.
Jules breaches.
Jules
Right,
breaches.
she hasn't done anything wrong.
No, that we know of.
That we know of, and at the time of recording.
Exactly.
She wouldn't admit it like Chelsea.
actually, she has done quite a lot wrong.
If you're talking about
Right,
but
swearing.
not relevant to this.
Yeah, right. Chelsea themselves reported this to the
Yeah.
FA. So when we say they're alleged, I mean,
Yeah.
they have, you know,
So
said
this is
that
the big
has
difference
happened.
between them and the Man City thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man City.
The charges
If
prim-
Mandelson had done the same, he would still be in a job.
I often get you and him mixed up.
Good Hartlepool men.
Yeah.
Both called Peter.
Yeah, indeed.
Good Hartlepool Peters.
Well, anyway, might I go back to the detail of this? The charges are primarily focused on transfers between 2010-11 and the 2015-16 seasons. The deals to sign Eden Hazard, Samuel Eto'o and Willian are part of the investigation. However, there's no suggestion that the players have done anything wrong.
No.
Yeah, I like that they add that in there. Like,
I mean, this is very different.
It's responsible reporting, I think.
It is, Peter. So,
I think because they've announced that they've reported it themselves and they're going to comply properly with the investigation, they're
Yes.
expecting a fine. What they should expect is, of course, absolutely no end to the case whatsoever and no punishment over the horizon at all.
Yeah,
because that seems to be the precedent that's been set. I'm surprised that Chelsea have been frightened into reporting it themselves, given that Man City have had absolutely nothing levelled at them.
Who are they going to level a fine or anything at? A sanctioned Abramovich?
Yeah,
What are you going to
yeah.
do?
well, they've still got his money. That was it,
Still got his money,
2.5
yeah.
million.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's still frozen, although technically it belongs to him. So I think
So
they
can
should.
the Premier League take that?
Well, they basically need to ask for his PIN and say, right,
Here's your PIN, Roman.
you've been fined, I don't know, say 200 grand or whatever.
Someone's got
it's
to go
gonna
back
be.
every day and take the maximum out the cash point every day. So they've got the pin.
Yeah.
Another 500 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in Train Spotting 2, a little tip, go at 1 minute before midnight, you'll get 2 lots.
There we go.
Nice, like it.
But yeah, so I think somebody needs to say, all right, Roman, I know you can't touch that money, but it does need to come out of there.
But it's not. No, surely it'll be levelled at Chelsea as a club. Won't it?
yeah, but surely they
You
can
inherit the crimes,
Surely
I
they
suppose,
can
don't
pull it
you?
out
Or
of that.
non-crimes.
I mean, the interest alone, Luke.
You can't
good
blame
point,
the
yeah.
son for the sins of the sugar daddy.
Well,
That'd be what I'd say.
well, we'll wait for the
As a
investigation
judge.
to finish.
As
in
a sugar
between the
daddy,
Spurs
as a sugar
arsenals.
daddy myself.
Now, before we go for a break, how about this? Josh King's disallowed goal for Fulham against Chelsea, of course, was a very controversial moment in the last round of Premier League fixtures. Well, the defiant people of Fulham have voted it Fulham's goal of the month.
Nice.
The goal received 83% of the votes. Come
Lovely
on.
stuff.
Fulham's goal of the month.
That is the
Important.
kind of standing up for what you believe in against the dark forces that are VAR that we need to see.
It's the petty Brit.
It's very much
really
so.
Is.
It's very Fulhamish.
I love the fact that they think the best course of action here is to rig some kind of online vote. We'll play by the rules.
Yeah,
but we're just going to cast our votes. People will understand how we feel.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
didn't vote myself. Didn't need to. Knew we'd get over the line.
Yeah, it's a landslide.
Don't worry. Don't bother coming out to vote. It's all done.
I think Josh King will be very emboldened by that one. He'll be good for his confidence. I think the fans are with me. Maybe he'll take that confidence into the game against Leeds.
Score more disallowed goals.
Absolutely.
You'll be at Craven Cottage this weekend, will you, Marcus?
See if you can spot me.
I'll try. I'll try my best.
Coming up after this. How did this get in the running order? Portsmouth face Southampton in the South Coast derby.
Massive game.
Right, everybody, let's continue talking about the Premier League. Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Saturday at 12:30, just tomorrow it's happening. Former Spurs manager Ange Postecoglou will be in the dugout for his first game for Forest, and of course it's away at Arsenal, Luke.
It's great to see him back, wasn't it? It's great to see him back. It just was.
Yeah.
My kind of feelings towards Ange were like, I loved him at the start of his Spurs tenure. I thought he was a real breath of fresh air. I loved how frank he was. Then I kind of got a bit confused by how
chippy,
yeah,
upset he was about.
But the
everything.
chippiness came a bit later. I got a bit confused about how a man who seemed to be quite straight talking and quite rational would field quite irrational teams, like quite irrational setups on the pitch. Right, that Chelsea game where they're just all defending across the halfway.
I love that though.
And then I got kind of a little bit fed up of his bullshit and his kind of really, really chippy demeanour, as you said. But then we had a little break, didn't we?
Yeah,
and then he's come back again, and now I really like him again.
Yeah. I mean, when he towards the end of his time, he had the kind of demeanour of an Australian fast bowler.
Yeah,
and the
after a few beers.
Yeah, and the journalists, he was looking at them, imagining them to be England batsmen.
Yeah, and I have nothing but contempt for most of those journalists myself, so I quite like the fact that he was going to bat with them.
Yeah.
If journalists turn up with poems and cakes and stuff, I think they can take a few hits, can't they?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that Gary Cottrell will disgrace himself in this press conference that I've seen so far, which is surprising.
Yes.
Had he done that, I think Ange has got his feet under the table now at the Premier League so much, he probably could have just had a swing for him.
I mean, Marinakis would probably...
Marinakis comes in with the big splash, Pete, off the top turnbuckle.
The heavy boot, the big boot.
They very much did. There was a photo of them. I can't remember what it was for, but there was a photo of them quite recently.
Earthquake and typhoon.
Very much the natural disasters of the Premier League now. It's very pleasing.
Such a lovely old reference, that.
Have you seen Gary Cottrell's output on Twitter recently? His last post is just all Jose Mourinho stuff. It's all Jose Mourinho hugging him and stuff. It's just bizarre.
Maybe he knows something.
Maybe he's on the
Jose's
way.
on his way back. Who's tracking a flight as we speak?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's leave Jose for another week.
Callum Hudson-Odoi already said that training session was mad.
Feeling the
hardcore,
but that's the thing though. Going from Nuno to Ange is quite the gear change.
He's Callum Hudson-Odoi is now Callum Hudson-Odoi because he's been stretched on Ange's rack.
Is that right?
all of his limbs are
Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Well, Ange was asked in the press conference about the fact he always wins a trophy in his second season, which was an inevitable question he was going to be asked, of course. He replied by saying, I have won a couple in my first as well. He then was asked if he can win one with Forest this season, and he replied, of course I can. I may have to win one to get a second year here, mate.
Yeah.
Which is
quite funny.
He's quite amusing.
He won the double with Celtic in his first year, I think.
Yes.
So he's fair enough saying that.
Yeah, of course.
For Marinakis, it's kind of like a twist or bust kind of season, really, because they've got to a certain level with the manager previous to Nuno, and then this one they just had a bit of a falling out. And Nuno's got this reputation of being these performances are on a bedrock of quite good defensive performances, but like they've let in quite a few goals this season. They've let in more than they've scored. So
I mean, losing at home to West Ham 3-0
is absolutely terrible.
That was a real kind of last 10 or 15 minute display by West Ham, wasn't it? It just took the game away from Forest. I think it looks worse on the score than it actually was, but I think the point still stands. I mean, for me, looking at it from the other side, I just feel like this is a kind of nightmarish game for Arsenal with the circumstances we've just talked about. The only saving grace for them is it's at the Emirates.
Yes.
I think this is absolutely kind of set up for Elliot Anderson just run the show against a midfield that costs loads more money than him. And, he's having a bit.
Is Ange back in the Premier League?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but so when you're saying like running the show and so on, but this could massively feed into Arsenal's
but it depends.
capabilities.
Yeah, but it depends on what Postecoglou you think it's going to be.
Well, going on what Callum Hudson-Odoi, it seems like it's picking up where he left off.
Training hard and is different to tactically on the field during the game.
They didn't set up against free kicks very well last season, did they, Spurs? So Arsenal, that's kind of
Arsenal's thing.
No, Arsenal's thing at the moment, isn't it?
But my angle would just be that if Postecoglou at the age of 60 is still able to learn and be flexible like he was, as you guys mentioned on Wednesday in the Europa League, if we get that version of it, it might be really interesting. If he just plays this kamikaze stuff,
it'll be good for the Ramble.
It will be great for the Ramble, whatever happens, I think. I just feel like, look, possibly I'm going to be embarrassed when I come back in next week and we talk about this
Let's
game.
hope so.
Yeah, well, again, good for the Ramble. But to me, it just feels like I think Arsenal have been overrated a bit by a lot of pundits. I think people have looked at them and gone, they've been second for however many seasons. They've strengthened in this area and this area. I haven't been that impressed with Zubimendi so far. I haven't been that impressed with Gyökeres so far. Eze's in line to start possibly for the first time for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, he came on against Liverpool.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And they've clearly strengthened in the areas they feel like they need to strengthen in. But they've also got Saliba missing, which is a big deal. And I just think there's an element of unknown about Forest under Ange Postecoglou. It could go one or the other. They could get whooped about 4-0, but they could get a result.
It's early days, and it's even earlier days for Forest now.
Let me put it this way for you. Would you like to be, your capacity as a Fulham fan, would you like to be playing the first game of Ange's Forest in the Premier League? You wouldn't want that.
I don't know. I think because I think there's a chance that Ange could, I'm going on the first season at Spurs. I think that
But he started brilliantly at Spurs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which is why you'd want to play them earlier on rather than when they really get going. So I actually, we'll see. Obviously, it's hard to say. A new manager about. I would say it's. I think because of the likely sort of juxtaposition of what we'll see with tactically. I don't think Ange Postecoglou is not stupid. He knows football better than I do, so he's not going to go in there and go right, tear that up and let's gung ho and let's carry on with 22 league defeats last season. Well, let's see how many we can rack up this season. I don't think he's going to be like that.
Imagine if he did that. It'd be mental, wouldn't it?
It would be great for us, but I think
Marinakis outside with a kind of cup at the door. What's he doing?
So I think but I think to catch him cold would be is what Arteta and Arsenal fans will be hoping to do, of course.
I like that they've had to sign a goalkeeping coach because obviously Nuno was a goalkeeper.
Yeah, nice.
So it's just nice that they've had to
left the
hire
gap.
one. You left the gap.
Right then,
Heating in.
We yeah, go on then, Luke. I don't know how this has made it in. Southampton are hosting Portsmouth on Sunday at midday.
Well, the way it's made it in is it's the second biggest game in England this weekend.
Second biggest game in England.
I'll give you the Manchester derby.
Right,
that's bigger.
Thanks.
But Southampton Portsmouth is the biggest game other than that in the country today, this weekend.
Is it the closest to the sea derby?
Must be.
Must
be. Yeah.
Sunderland,
absolutely
Newcastle?
must be.
Yeah.
You're not looking forward to this? You're not going to watch this on Sunday?
Just frantically looking at fixtures and just noticed that West Ham are playing Spurs, that's all. But yeah, apparently the South Coast derby's bigger than that Premier League game.
Depends on your viewpoint.
Yeah, clearly.
Will you both be watching on Sunday?
No, I'll probably...
Have it on your phone where you're taking another PA in the middle of a field, Pete, will you?
I'll be here at 12 o'clock, so maybe I'll stick it on the big telly.
Nice.
All right, I'll probably still be socialising after church.
Fair enough. Why not combine the two?
Yeah, well, I don't want to ruin the vibe.
Yeah, it's the first time Portsmouth and Southampton have played in a league game, I think, for a long old time. I mean, it must be since 2000. First time I played since 2019.
Yeah, which Southampton won 4-0.
That was in the cup. That was in the cup.
Yeah, 4-0.
Since then, it's probably 2012, I think.
Yeah, it was. The previous one was 2012. That was
that
the last time they played in the league game. Yeah.
That was when Southampton scored in the last minute, and then David Norris equalised for Portsmouth in injury time. It was an amazing end to the game.
Good old Norrie.
Yeah.
Well, the big news in the lead up to this game is that iconic Portsmouth fan and friend of Luke Moore, John Westwood, had his
father of Luke Moore, John Westwood.
Come on, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. So that's why we go with friend. John Westwood had his wig stolen by a rival fan. That sort of dreadlocky looking.
It's like a horrible privateers kind of wig, isn't it? It's
yeah,
horrible.
kind of. You've got obviously the blue and
The photo of it is one of the most depressing photos I've ever seen.
It looks like it's got weevils in it.
It should only be approached with a hazmat suit, for sure. They got stolen and then put up on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, well,
Dawson should have bought it.
I know, you missed a trick there.
Well,
the incident happened while he was watching Portsmouth's academy play in the Hampshire Senior Cup against Romsey Town, and a number of Southampton fans were supposedly present at the game. His wig was nicked and then listed on Facebook Marketplace for £1. £1.
Because he obviously has had many stadium bans. I like that now he's allowed back in to Fratton Park, that he's sort of also doing all of the other matches.
I don't remember why he was given stadium bans.
He went to the women's toilet.
He was, and then there was
a few other ones as
during the one of the Premier League seasons. He was essentially banned from quite a lot of away stadiums for being just like drunk and disorderly and stuff like that, and causing problems. I mean, joking aside, he's not a very nice bloke.
Well, something nice happened to him, because the wig was eventually posted back to him, posted back to Westwood's bookshop. Which is where he plies his trade.
Got quite,
in Petersfield, I think
a pretty good-looking bookshop. But then you look at the back room of the bookshop, and it's a bit of me in there, if you're honest. I'm honest. There's
a lot of wires,
a lot of wires, a lot of like batteries, a lot of odds and sods around.
Bric-a-brac.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the back of a library or a bookshop. It looks like my dad's shed.
Nice.
Yeah, well, Westwood said that when he saw it on Facebook Marketplace, he rang the person up and left a really nice message asking for its return.
I bet he did.
He then said...
really nice message from John Westwood.
He then said, he texted me back saying it wasn't him and he needed to talk to someone about it. Oh, yeah. But the next day I received a special delivery. It's the same state it was in, still dirty and smelly, which reminds me, I must wash it.
Yeah.
And presumably himself.
Wash yourself while you're there, John. Yeah. Anyway, great preview of the game. I really enjoyed it.
That's what you're getting. So go on then. How are Southampton getting on back in the Championship, Luke? They're the team that we're really focused on.
Worse than Portsmouth. Currently below them in the table.
Oh, no.
Portsmouth started quite well. I was at the game against Preston at home a week or two ago. Portsmouth looked pretty good. They've since signed Connor Chaplin, which is a massive signing, a really surprising signing as well. So that will be a factor, I think. And I think Portsmouth's front four particularly now looks decent. And I would have feared going into this game more than any other game, because it's away from home, of course. And my general kind of default position when it comes to being a Portsmouth fan is just, if we're at home against anyone in the league, I'm disappointed that we don't win. And then when we're away, it feels like any point's a bonus.
Yeah.
But this is how football gets you, though, isn't it? Because I've now got quite a lot of hope, because Portsmouth started the season quite a bit better than I thought they would. If you bear in mind that last season in the Championship, they didn't win a game until October, they've already picked up
7 points.
Yeah, 7 points from 4 games. They only lost 1 game, I think. So I think they've got a chance here. And I'd also like to see what colour pants Southampton have got. You get in there early, get on the front
John
foot.
Westwood.
Get on early in the front foot, see if they can stand up to it, because they found the transition back to the Championship quite hard. So if Pompey can go in there, get on the front foot with a bit of confidence and realise there's nothing to be scared of, I think they can win the game.
Tell you what, the team to beat though in the Championship so far, Middlesbrough, 4 wins from 4.
They've been very good.
How about that?
They have been very good, no doubt about that.
Left back.
Yes. Now, of course, it's Friday and it's a huge day for myself
the Luke Nation.
And the Luke Nation as well. Luke is back to take on me in your first game of the season, in My Biddy Aunt, of course. That's going to be out later. Pete will be reffing, of course. So to get today's episode of My Biddy Aunt, it'll be later this afternoon, as I said. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Ramble in your podcast app so you do not miss it.